Hi students, today we are going to solve a case-based question from the chapter Human Health and Diseases. The question is based on a graph. So here is the graph. They have plotted the time on the x-axis and concentration of antibodies produced on the y-axis. So now coming to the question, see the graph given below indicates the first dose and second dose of the vaccine by L and M. So this is the first dose of the vaccine, the time at which first dose of the vaccine is given, and M is the time at which the second dose of the vaccine is provided. Okay, so L will be the first dose of the vaccine. Okay, and now coming to X and Y. So the corresponding response of the body, how the body will respond? By producing antibodies against the germs. So X and Y indicates the response of the body. Alright, so we have the data from the graph. Now what is the question? Interpret the graph. Okay, so two parts of the questions are there. We have to first interpret the graph and explain the reason for such a response shown by the body. So two parts of the question are there. First, let us interpret the graph. So L is the first dose of the vaccine. This vaccine can be an inactivated pathogen or a killed pathogen or a pathogenic protein. It can be anything of it. Okay. So L is the first dose. Now coming to X. If you see the X, the concentration of the antibody. So when you are introducing the first dose of the vaccine, our body will be producing a slow and primary immune response. So X is nothing but the primary response of the body. What is primary response? It is a slow and less intensified response to fight against the pathogen. So we have interpreted X here. Alright. Now coming to M. So M will be the second dose of the vaccine. We call this second dose as the booster dose of the vaccine. Second time the same pathogen is introduced into the body. So if you take Y, the response of the body, if it is indicated, concentration of the antibodies have risen more than double the time than X. Okay, so Y will be very quicker. If you take the time taken also after introducing the second dose of the vaccine, the time taken is very less to produce the antibodies. Okay, so Y is known as the secondary immune response, which is also known as anamnestic immune response. So these two keywords let us learn very clearly. So secondary immune response. What is a secondary immune response? This immune response is a very quick response and highly intensified. In a very short period of time, very higher dose of antibodies are produced to tackle the antigens given. Okay, so whichever foreign antigens are entering into our body will be fought against in a rapid manner. So quick and highly intensified immune response is secondary immune response. Slow and less intensified immune response is primary immune response. So now we have interpreted the graph. One part of the question is completed. Second part of the question, explain the reason for such a response shown by the body. So X is the first time introduction, so the response will be slower. But what will happen after X? The memory T cells and B cells will be created. So the reason, coming to the second part of the question, the reason for such a response is the memory created of the pathogen. So our immune system will remember the type of pathogen entered in the first time. Second time, it will show a very highly intensified immune response. So the reason for such a response is memory B cells and T cells created for the first dose of the vaccine. So for this part of the question, you will receive 1 mark from the case study, and the reason when you are explaining, you will get the other 1 mark. So this is a 2 mark question, case based. Thank you, all the best.